On to the serious business of the day. England brought in Chris Lewis from Leicestershire to make his debut in Test cricket. Out goes Philip de Freitas, who has a gastric attack. And New Zealand, they have a problem with Ian Smith, the wicketkeeper, who sustained a hamstring injury in training the other day. And Adam Perori comes into the side, also making his debut. Well, the toss between the two skippers, John Wright and the England captain Graham Gooch, resulted in a win for New Zealand. Once again, they put themselves into the field and asked England to bat. Here's the fifth ball of the first over now. Graham Gooch is taking strike to Sir Richard Hadlee. No runs are on the board.
When we look at it, that was a little bit wide by the time he played it. Certainly a bit of movement there for Hadlee.
Single to get off the mark, and that's a good over from Richard Hadlee. Just the one run on the board. Sharp in pace, again Richard Hadlee. It's a vulnerable area for Danny Morrison. I reckon the runs taken off him at Lord's, about 45–50% came from that area down through the gully down to the third man. There's a couple there for Michael Atherton, who wants to come back to the second.
Tremendous battle with Richard Hadlee on the final day of that Lord's Test match. He caught off a no ball before he'd scored in the second innings, and also dropped by Smith. But I think it was a great experience for the young man to have to play against such a great bowler.
Two more to Atherton. Well, three consecutive deliveries from Hadlee on leg stump. Provided 5 runs for Michael Atherton.
Well bowled here. Movement off the seam. Ball only just carrying to Perori behind the stumps.
Those flags were showing to give you an idea of the way the breeze was blowing. That's a rather unusual looking New Zealand flag up there. It's very well bowled.
Yes, a little bit of movement off the seam there, almost opening Atherton out. Playing that wider mid-on to begin with.
The last 4 balls have all gone down round about leg stump. I can only assume that he's trying to bowl an outswinger, and it's simply not swinging. Danny Morrison. 4 wickets at Lord's in one of the innings. No ball called by umpire John Holder. It's beaten Franklin. It rather got him on the wrong foot as he was coming across there. But for one moment, as he was going to try to pick it up, realised he was wrong-footed, and it was too late to dive because the timing was pretty good from Graham Gooch.
Yes, although he hit it firmly into the ground, he hit it so powerfully. Franklin, just as Richie said, on the wrong foot, and he wants to look after himself a little bit because he's got a damaged finger. He doesn't start diving around because his job's to bat.
To Atherton. But so far, with the exception of that square cut by Gooch, most of the bowling's been down the leg stump. It's 20 for no wicket. That's the sort of day you want a cold salad. Atherton's picked up 4 from a good delivery. That one significantly was round about off stump and posed the batsman many more problems.
Well played by Atherton. He dropped his wrists as he was playing at it and managed to keep the ball down, but it was an outside edge. Somewhat fortunate to get 4 runs for it.
Well, there it is, leg stump again. Although they have up here what they call the brumbrella, one cover that goes right across the ground as you're looking at it from right to left. Covers are housed away on the right. Even though that was used and kept the ground dry, just 1 or 2 little dampish patches. Far and away the shot of the day so far. Lovely timing.
He just lowers himself just before the bowler lets the ball go, and it seems to have got him much better balanced.
The bowling's been just a little bit offline so far, and the batsmen have plundered it the tune of 32, and we're only into the 8th over. I'm looking forward, Tom, to the battle between Terry Alderman and Graham Gooch again in Australia. As I know Graham has been working on that problem he had with Alderman, where he was playing across the front foot, and it's all okay now, but will it be all right against Alderman again?
Well, that's right. I think the difference is here that with the exception of Richard Hadlee, who gets in close, no one else in the New Zealand attack gets quite as close to the stumps. And that's where Graham Gooch has his problems, but he doesn't have any problems with the half volley outside the off stump. He just pushes it firmly straight through the gap between the bowler and mid-off. He's certainly looking in very, very good nick at the moment. But we're getting the first change in the attack. Martin Snedden is going to replace Morrison.
That's a lovely shot by Graham Gooch. Nice way to bring up his 5,000 runs in Test match cricket. Only 10 England players ahead of him in the aggregates in Test matches after that stroke.
Yes, no real power there, just a turn of the wrist, the ball just running on, just missing leg stump. Gooch just turned away through mid-wicket. Been a problem for the New Zealand bowlers. When it's windy like this, it doesn't swing around as much as when it's heavy and still, and when the ball's straight, the ball hasn't moved, and the ball off stump just outside, they can get that little bit of movement.
For more. And Gooch is in form. Nice to see. 44 for no wicket.
A better one, hurried him through.
Yes, whenever Hadley gets it roundabout off stump to Atherton, he does make him struggle a little bit, and I think it's mainly because he's getting him a little bit too far turned round. He gets a little chest on and that right shoulder's coming forward. You can see it here again. He got completely turned round again there. Not a delivery that he should have got turned round, because it was always roundabout off stump.
Snedden. I think he's in for quite a heavy workload on this pitch. Handsome shot. Be worth 4.
Well, a fine stroke here by Atherton. Foot right to the pitch. Lovely follow through. That left leg bent into the shot so it keeps it down. Really the perfect cover drive there. Snedden, of course, I think will be far happier bowling from that far end, the city end. Winwood then help him to bowl an outswinger, which is his main ball, mid-delivery. He'll be struggling to do it from this end.
Big appeal well forward, bat and pad together. England 50 with that single from Gooch, not coming up in 47 minutes. Well fielded, stood his ground. He's played quite firmly. And Andrew Jones standing his ground. Usually a batsman goes back on his heels when he sees fieldsman when the batsman is on the front foot, but an alert piece of fielding. Now Hadley to Gooch. Well, that's one of those tentative shots around off-stump area, which the bowler's done everything right. The batsman's got 4 runs. The double danger about this put-in, Ray, is firstly whether the ball's going to do anything under those dry conditions, other than the fact it had been covered, it was doubtful. And secondly, what will happen to the surface over 5 days?
New Zealand do have 5 left-handers in the side, with although Priest not playing this match, which would certainly help Eddie Hemmings if the ball did start to spin a little.
No ball. The end of the over. England now 58, 8 off it. Putting the boot in. Oh, we've heard it in one sport. Maud. Nicely timed. The end of the first hour, and we've had 16 overs, so in pretty good progress. As we thought, Hadley rested, Morrison back.
Is the ball dead or not? I don't know, Danny Morrison. I don't think Barry might. Yes, he's just called dead ball, but I suppose for a moment that you could run out and bash it. 4 runs. Ah, then Tom Graveney, did that man do well on his birthday to win the toss and to decide to field first?
That's a lovely shot. And I think that probably answered your question, Tony. That short one outside the off-stump, Atherton moving beautifully across, getting right on top of the ball, cracking it square for 4.
End of the over. 80 for no wicket. Richard Hadley again. 8 overs for 25 so far, and surprisingly for Hadley, quite a few down the leg side. It's an interesting method of fielding. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. He gets down and slides and then comes up almost instantly in perfect throwing position. That's pretty good. We were talking a moment ago about John Bracewell and the fact that it would at least be useful to find out if the ball's turning. Either he's been told he's about to have a bowl or he's trying to catch John Wright's eye. A prolific scoring stroke in this series. Straight down between third slip and gully. No third man. 4 runs every time.
Yes, I think it's quite right to try it when the covers have been a long time. If nothing's happening for the seam bowlers, there's always a possibility because of a bit of dampness on the top that it may make the ball grip sufficiently for a spinner. And it's always worth a try for a couple of overs. You've nothing to lose. Certainly it's not done very little for the seam bowlers. It's worthwhile seeing what happens to the spinner.
Now it is to be John Bracewell. He's going to come in from the pavilion end. Well, I think we can say that there is some turn there.
Well, John Bracewell won't be loose yet. His fingers will be a little bit stiff, but he's certainly getting that ball to go off the straight. Well, that certainly turned a good 6 inches, so there's plenty of encouragement there for the spin bowler anyway.
That third slip now has gone to fine gully. No ball called.
I think John Wright will be probably quite pleased to see that ball turn a little, because there's nothing happened for the seamers, and really that would give him that little bit of encouragement. At least his slow bowler can play a major part in his attack. No turn there and the off-spinner not doing anything, and he really would have been in trouble. But it means that the off-spinner can play a major part in the attack now for the rest of the day.
So all set for the first ball after tea. Spin again from John Bracewell. Michael Atherton on strike. A loose delivery. And that will be his 50. Not where he intended. Carried off exactly 100 balls. So Richard Hadley now coming in for the start of his 12th over. He's bowling to Graham Gooch. Right bang on the spot and some movement there for Hadley.
Yes, a super first delivery. Just bouncing, actually.
Certainly 2 for Gooch. No ball. 4 runs into the bargain brings the 100 up for England. A slower second 50 than the first. This one's taken 19 overs, the first one 13. Hadley now to Gooch. Oh, did it carry? I should think it just about did. It was a good effort to get down to it. Most difficult one for a pace bowler, back to his right. Down he comes again, and that's his 50. Splendid innings from Gooch. The end of the over. He's got there out of England's score of 110. Oh, Gooch opened the face. No ball it was, but I think he was playing the shot anyway. Full length. Gooch possibly playing it squarer than that. Still worth 4. Hadley to Gooch. Oh, beautifully timed. Don't be 4.
Lovely shot by Graham Gooch off his legs.
Conditions, I don't think they're all that good for bowling. It's not quite right as a breeze for John Bracewell. Maybe better for him to come from the city end instead of the pavilion end from which he's bowling at the moment. Beautiful time by Atherton. The breeze also has not been in favour of the faster bowlers. Been a good solid partnership from this pair. Atherton has had quite a bit more of the strike than Graham Gooch, 142 to 119 balls. Single off that, but Danny Morrison was no balled as well. Another no ball called. Don't bother chasing that.
cracking stroke. Been quite a good summer so far for Michael Atherton. 150 up at Trent Bridge, 50 at Lord's, 71 not out here. And in a county championship match the other day, he continued his good form, making runs and taking 4 for 23 with his leg spin. That man who was wide at third man was too wide to chop that off. Certainly got a fierce gust of wind across the ground there, and it's even moving the side screens around.
Martin Snedden, he'll, I think, enjoy bowling from the city end more than he has from the pavilion end. At least the wind is helping his away drift.
Well, there's quite an appeal there. Graham Gooch moving around the crease quite confidently, believing the ball to have just nicked the pad.
This is ball moving off the pitch, just flipping the pad by the knee roll.
Oh, cracking shot. Beautifully planted between mid-wicket and mid-on, and that's 4 runs. And the 150 comes up.
A really super shot, this from Gooch. Flipped away, through straight mid-on, half volley on the leg stump.
Atherton and Gooch, 76 to Atherton and 72 to Graham Gooch. Well, they're having some trouble keeping the perimeter advertising up right there. It really is blowing quite vigorously out there now. Well, there's an appeal. Nothing to appeal for. I might just have got a bottom nick on that. It's a couple of runs. And it's rather sweet to have the area of Edgbaston so close to the city centre. Edgbaston, all the trees and parks. Cracking shot. He's really been looking to play the shots, no doubt about that. He left onto that half volley. Just to repeat that play goes on this evening until 7 o'clock. It's a bit chilly out there, though, for those New Zealand fielders. Spectators, too. Well, that's a lovely shot. I think that Graham Gooch is really looking to create a victory situation here for England. He's been looking for shots off every ball for the last 15 minutes now. That's a better shot. Too much for Richard Hadlee at point. But they've run 4. It's the Warwickshire emblem, the bear and ragged staff. And that's very close indeed. He's given him out. Well, maybe he won't retire just yet, because Martin Snedden has struck. New Zealand take their first wicket at 170. Michael Athen is out for 82. Lovely way to get off the mark. Well, Alex Stewart suffered injury. He missed the last match. Surrey's last match against Glamorgan. Played a one-day match in the second team. Comes out and creams it.
Yes, he's had a long wait. He's been sat in the dressing room for quite a few hours.
There he goes. That's the one he's waited for. Only a little short arm jab, but it's everything. 6 runs.
Well, again, it was a straight delivery. Roundabout off stump. And Gooch just picking it up with the spin, with the wind, everything in his favour, and going flat for 6 over mid-wicket.
New Zealand have got on with it, and so have England. A run rate of over 3. 7 o'clock finish. Well, Gooch is not holding back at anything, even though there's just 15 minutes left for play. He's in a very positive mood.
Yes, a bit short and wide and looking to chop it away to third man. Didn't really stay on the ball long enough there.
There's the England dressing room in the background. Richard Hadley back. An interesting battle to keep Graham Gooch away from 3 figures if they can tonight, New Zealand, and then try and work on him in the morning. There's his career performance for England. 78 test matches. This is his 78th. Hard hit, but down. Looking for 2. My word, that's close. And Gooch going for 2. Flat out from the start, just making it.
Yes, this will be interesting to see what a direct hit would have caused, and I think it might have well been goodbye Mr. Gooch with a direct hit.
That was the ball being played hard and down and to the left of gully. Good shot from Stewart. Outfield's quickened up, and that shows the impact of this large cover here, because little of the rain has got onto that part of the outfield, and that was so close to 4.
Yeah, Stewart using his feet nicely here. Got right down the pitch to it. It was a little bit close to his legs, but he let the ball come onto him nicely at the finish, then just turned it through mid-wicket with his wrists.
This offside field, 2 close catches and 3 in the offside ring, makes it difficult. He's down the wicket, milking the single. Certainly get 1 more over after this, and maybe 2. Very positive batting exhibition from the England captain. Well, there's a useful delivery. Bright sunlight to end this day with.
Well, Richard Hadley getting that ball to go away. Again, it was just outside off stump and going away. He's done that on a few occasions today, but he's not been able to make it go from middle stump. That's where line he bowls when he's bowling well and the ball's moving.
Final over of the day, England going into it, having been put into bat. 191 for 1. Graham Gooch has batted throughout the innings from when play started at 2:45, just 5 runs short of what will be his 9th 100 for England. That's 6 off Bracewell. There's an appeal there off the final ball of the day, but that was, I think, a bit of typical Bracewell optimism. Smiles all round.
Well, certainly quite a lot of spin there, but that ball clearly going onto the pad and then just going to centre mid off.
It's the end of play, England having been put into bat. 191 for 1 with Gooch unbeaten on 95.
A couple of singles.
Unbeaten on 95.
Yes, unbeaten on 95, and I suspect pouring a glass of champagne for John Wright, the New Zealand skipper, at the end. Normally, it's the man who's having the birthday who gets the presents. Today, he made the present for England. Gooch, 95 not out, Stewart, 8 not out, extras 6 and 191 for 1. No joy at all for the New Zealand bowlers other than Snedden, who got 1 for 39 in 14. Hadley was round about leg stump most of the time today. None for 48 for Morrison, and the same figures for John Bracewell, who got the ball to turn. Everything from the weather point of view was very good when the same figures for John Bracewell, who got the ball to turn. Everything from the weather point of view was very good when the second day began. Lovely morning and nowhere near as stiff a breeze. In fact, both Hadley and Morrison, who had about 20 overs to go before the second new ball could be taken, were swinging the ball quite a bit and doing it both ways and late. We join play now at the start of the 4th over. A couple of singles have been added, and as Danny Morrison coming in from the pavilion end, Alex Stewart is taking strike.
Oh, it's useful delivery here from Danny Morrison. The ball moved off the pitch, but I just get the feeling that Alex Stewart's playing a little bit freely.
Oh, well done. Beautifully bowled. That was a terrific delivery from Danny Morrison. And Stewart got the outside edge, and a victim for Adam Perore. His first in Test match cricket. And what a marvellous moment for a young player.
Yes, a very good catch by young Perore. The ball was going down, and Richard had already mentioned it might have gone for that one that went to first slip, but he made no mistake there. Took it very low down, very well indeed, and Alex Stewart returns to the pavilion.
Off the mark, Alan Lamb. We've been playing here for 25 minutes this morning, and that's the first run taken off Richard Hadley. Don't know that Richard will be too worried about that. Has the chance now to bowl at the new batsman. Gooch has gone to 97.
There's a little bit of a way swing for him, and also movement off the pitch. And, I think that's why he's really fancying Alan Lamb, I think. And he's got that put just in the right place.
Oh, that's got to be very close. No stroke played, and the push out even further once the ball hit him on the pads.
Oh, dropped him. Beautiful piece of bowling. Down it's gone. Sharp and low, but really those sort of catches should be taken. Martin Crowe, he had that sharp slip chance. Stood there for the whole of the series. Oh, brilliantly bowled and out. Even Alan Lamb doesn't stand and wait for that one. He knew he'd got a nick, and if ever a wicket was deserved, it was that one. Hadley's worried Lamb throughout the series, and he's got him again. Caught it behind by Adam Perore, and England now 198 for 3.
Yes, well, I've always said that Alan Lamb's very, very vulnerable to anybody who can move the ball away from him on a good length when he first comes in. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he's made most of his big scores against the West Indian quicks, who tend to bang the ball in short. He's a good square cutter. But anybody of fast medium pace who can seam it away from him, he does have problems defensively, and again you see it there.
Smith looking for 2 and going. Gooch will have none of it, and Smith looked and heard in time. So Smith off the mark, and another good return from Danny Morrison. That'll be it. A typical Gooch shot. Gets him to 100, gets England to 200. Graham Gooch's 9th 100 for England, 2nd against New Zealand. But fittingly enough, with his 13th 4, that breaks a spell of 2 years without 100 for the England captain. Good ploy, Ray, because the ball's there to, if it's there to be hit, it's a challenge to the batsman, and I don't think as an off-spinner you'd mind somebody hitting you over the top at least once anyway.
I know a new batsman in Test cricket on one. I think you'd give him every chance to do that.
Well, or play it that way instead. Lovely shot. Half volley, but my word, that was really copybook stuff. Martin Snedden to bowl. Richard Hadley's spell this morning, 7 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 8. Didn't carry, but Brent Batch couldn't prevent the single. Bracewell now to Gooch. Oh, dear me. Well, that was a loose forward stroke. It's got round to the boundary, and it's got 4 runs. So no wonder Bracewell's perplexed. How many gates like that did you used to see, Ray?
A lot in the early 50s, but not too many later on in the 60s and 70s. Certainly you never had one like that, Jack.
Oh, that's Gooch's answer, fetching it. Not quite the same delivery, but it was on the same line, pitching outside off stump. He went with the spin. It had got to be timed, and it was a peculiar length to do that too, but Gooch got it spot on.
I think they could forget about the silly mid-off and have a man back there at deep mid-wicket.
There'll be another one. 3 fours this over. 1 unintentional, and the other 2 exactly where he's played them.
That's a lovely shot off the back foot. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. And that's out. Last laugh to John Bracewell. It's been good attacking bowling, and Robin Smith had threatened to break loose of that cordon of close fielders, but in the end it was the short square leg who caught the ball off bat and pad, and that's a great triumph for Bracewell's off spin. 245 for 4.
Good shot by Neil Fairbrother to get off the mark. I feel a lot happier now.
Nice little nudge by Graham Gooch. And the nudge for 4 runs.
LBW. Fairbrother has gone. Snedden has the wicket. That was a late swinging delivery. It looked to me that Fairbrother played outside it, and probably quite a way outside it, beaten in the air rather than off the seam. Ball of full length, and Fairbrother goes for 2. Gooch is 134, 254 for 4. Peter Russell takes him off the mark.
There's an adjusted scoreboard in that Graham Gooch, who went into lunch on 144, comes out 4 runs less, and that's because a boundary from Bracewell has been altered. Hadley now to Russell. Oh, hit me. Russell's such an infuriating little player to bowl against. Test average in the 30s, that's his 3rd boundary.
The wide full toss.
Oh, that's come all the way back and gone through him. Good stop in the end by Adam Perori. Nicely turned away there by Gooch. Morrison chasing and stops. That's the 300 up for England. A lovely shot. That brings up the 50 partnership. What better way to do it? Crucial partnership this, if England are to get 400 and take a real grip on this test match. 30 overs in the innings, and Bracewell, the first time he's bowled at the City end. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets any turn, and he's going round the wicket to the left-handed Russell. He picks his ones to sweep very well, whether he got bat on that or it was pad. Certainly worth 3. Leg bys it was. Picks the line well. Well run, and that's the 150 for Graham Gooch. Scored out of 312. That's a good substantial crowd at Edgbaston here, giving him a warm reception.
Yes, super innings by Graham Gooch.
Cracking shot. Now Gooch is really starting to go. He was patient, he waited. Now he's about to step up again. Well, that's out. Well, there we are. Fine catch. And Gooch aiming that leg side. Really was a remarkable catch and a good bit of bowling. It's the end of Graham Gooch, having got to 154, and England now 316 for 6.
The crowd standing ovation for Graham Gooch. A wonderful innings by him. Caught Hadley, bowled Morrison for 154.
New batsman now, Chris Lewis. Debut innings for him.
And he's off the mark in Test cricket. Well played. Almost incredible day. That's the breeze which is building up now. Not as fiercely as yesterday. My word, it was cold and windy here yesterday. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Very easy. They get a couple of runs there. Looking for 3 and comes sprinting backwards. Well, they're sprinting forwards, but sprinting back. Oh, it's in the air, but it's got the power. That was the leverage that you need to send the ball speeding away, but when you lever it, sometimes it goes in the air.
I think Snedden did him by pace then, lack of it.
Good forthright stroke maker. Oops! Has he gone? He's dropped it, perhaps. He's dropped it, the hands on the head at first slip. Well, I wonder. It's still a new ball, the second new ball in its 13th over.
Oh yes, that was a certain edge. Really, the keeper ought to catch those. It wasn't going all that quick. I'd be disappointed at missing that, as would be the bowler.
Well, it's a tough debut for this young man, Adam Perore. That's a tremendous blow. Perfectly played. Not the smallest slice of luck in that. Perfectly shaped.
Very well fielded and as well run also. Lewis moved very smartly. Four runs, not a good ball, but still had to be put away, and Russell did it with great skill. Good shot. Excellent fielding, last ball of the over. 341 for 6. Beautiful stroke. Lovely stroke off the back foot with beautiful timing and great placement by Jack Russell. Big score there from Graham Gooch. Excellent opening stand. And the New Zealanders got on top, but now Jack Russell and Lewis putting together a very useful partnership. That's very neatly placed by Jack Russell. 95 balls, 113 minutes and 7 fours for Jack Russell. And that is a wicket to Snedden, and thoroughly deserved too. Ball at full length. It looked to me as though it swung. Might just have got an inside edge, but Russell has gone 7 short of his half century, and that was good bowling. Gladstone Small is the new batsman. He's not actually under an injury cloud, but did happen to turn his ankle in the nets this morning, or whilst undergoing the rigorous training exercises.
There's a handsome shot there, and Gladstone Small off the mark with a 4. There's Mark Priest with John Wright having gone off. There's at least 2 and maybe 4. 4 it is. These are priceless runs for England. New Zealand captain John Wright back on. Bracewell to continue. And some shot from Gladstone Small. Released the top hand beautifully, and that's what's made it worth 4. Other batsman would have brought too much bottom hand into that and killed it. Well, somebody's not too bothered when they take tea.
It went straight through Bracewell. He had his hands there, but I suspect not for a fraction of a second until the ball had gone past.
Well, I think it was probably a little bit fortunate for him. He didn't get his hands there. Hit with terrific power.
Nicely caught. Ken Rutherford is the man out at deep mid-wicket. That is good bowling from John Bracewell. Deserved that wicket. Rutherford took the catch quite safely, and Lewis has gone for 32. Again, that ball going very close to John Bracewell. Four runs for Eddie Hemmings. That's very neatly played by Eddie Hemmings. That's a lovely shot. Gave himself a little room, a genuine back cut. That deserved 4. That brought up to 400 for England for the loss of 8 wickets.
At least 2 runs. A couple more for Eddie Hemmings. Just opened the face of the bat. Still 2 slips in a gully in there because New Zealand really have to get the wickets. They can't lie back, expect Gooch to declare automatically. That's gone high, but it's safe. It's behind square on the offside. They go for 1, look for 2. It's a 50 partnership. Hadley to Hemmings. Well, that may be a brilliant catch. It is. Looked at first sight to be an inside edge, but we'll take a closer look at it. It certainly was a good catch because there was no high bounce. And Hadley seen off Hemmings in a couple of balls, 2-3 balls. Over they go. And he was certain it was going for 6. Richard Hadley blows out the cheeks and says it's all over. It's hard work for him, but he's picked up a couple of wickets towards the end there. That'll do him very nicely. 435, the England total.
That's an outstanding effort from the England batsman. The pitch was very small.
Total.
That's an outstanding effort from the England batsman. The pitch was very flat, and in the middle of the order, it looked as though New Zealand's bowlers may have got through. But it was a good fighting effort from Jack Russell, Chris Lewis playing in his first match, and Eddie Hemmings, with Gladstone Small once again confirming that he's not just a bowler but can be classed as a lower order all-rounder. 44 not out in that total of 435. In a total of that kind, you don't see too many startling bowling analyses. Bracewell got 2 for 130. Snedden, I thought, bowled very well in this match. 35 overs, 9 maidens, 3 for 106. Danny Morrison, 2 for 81. And Richard Hadley, 3 for 97. So New Zealand had a delayed start to their innings. There's 20 minutes lost. Play had to go on in the end until 6:20 in the evening. We join play now with the first ball of the innings. Gladstone Small is the bowler, and Trevor Franklin is taking strike. Trevor Franklin is taking strike.
And picks up 4 in the first one. A slash away over gullies, outstretched hands. It's a dashing start for Trevor Franklin. Still 4 for no wicket, and some hostile bowling there on a very flat pitch. Not given up. That's well bowled. That is excellent bowling to get the ball up like that on this very slow pitch. The opening batsman doing the job opening batsmen have done down the years. That's protecting numbers 3, 4, 5 and 6. They used to be teammates, I think, Raymond, weren't they? It only seems yesterday.
Well, that's what John Wright thinks as well. I mean, it's very short, is that? You've got to be short on this wicket to get it up that high.
This is Malcolm bowling to Franklin. Hit him on the side of the helmet.
Franklin trying to go up with it. Fortunately, the way it hit him, but it could easily have hit his glove and just lobbed up to somebody.
This is the last ball of Malcolm's over, unless it's a no ball or a wide. Oh, and that's a quick delivery. That's very well bowled.
It certainly was a very quick delivery, and New Zealand had to battle hard not to lose a wicket.
That's very well bowled.
The third day of the final Cornhill Test match at Edgbaston between England and New Zealand. Welcome to the highlights. There's some heavy overnight rain at Edgbaston, but marvellous work by the ground staff ensured the game would start on time, right on the dot of 11 o'clock. The outfield just a little bit damp, but the covers had done a good job, and so too, as I say, had the ground staff. The situation of the match, as the players walked out onto the field, was that New Zealand were 9 for no wicket. That's in reply to England's excellent 435 all out, Gooch 154, Atherton 82, Small 44 not out, and Russell 43, and Chris Lewis in his debut match also did a good job down at the bottom of the order. Hadley 3 for 97, Snedden 3 for 106, and I thought Snedden was the outstanding bowler during that England innings. 9 for no wicket with the overnight not out batsman John Wright and Trevor Franklin. Trevor Franklin was hit by Devon Malcolm from the second last ball of the day yesterday, but suffered no ill effects. We join play now in the first over. Small is bowling to Wright, and the way the conditions are out in the centre, I don't think batting is going to be all that easy in this opening session.
Leg by. The moment it's pace, it's the 10th over with this new ball, and in comes Devon Malcolm. That's off the edge, and there's no man down there. Graham Gooch can afford to keep up his close catches, a long line of them, so no third man at this stage. 4 runs off the thick outside edge. That's a good shot. And that's how slow the pitch is. Time to get onto the back foot and give it a real nudge. 2 runs to Franklin. Oh, that's straight, and he was lucky to get away with that. Trevor Franklin, to me, didn't appear to get anywhere forward at all, just prodded forward with the front leg. Well, it's party time. Oh, that's a drop. Michael Atherton at 3rd slip. He's on his knees now, but he was standing up when it passed him.
Certainly he was stood up and he had to go down. Just carried. And if he'd been down, he could just have caught that.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled.
Off the shoulder.
There's John Wright's career performance for New Zealand. He's in the top 6 in the world, and that's because of the excellent last 12 months he's had. Oh, goodness me. Could have played on, could have been a catch of the wicket, instead 4 runs. This was a loose stroke, Tom, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, free and easy, and he didn't really get behind it.
Round the wicket goes Malcolm again. That's the answer. 4 runs. That's a better shot. 3rd boundary for Wright. That's not the Warwickshire Committee room. It's brisk stuff, really, by England, considering this overlong run of Devon Malcolm's. Shows that they are trying to get on with it and follow the TCCB's edict to get through their 90 overs in 6 hours. John Wright's going for his shots now, and that's the 3rd such offside boundary. 3 and 4 balls now off Devon Malcolm. Oh, that could have been played on. John Wright now looking for almost anything. That was much too straight.
Yes, this delivery coming back a little bit on John Wright, but it really wasn't wide enough to play that square cut that he's favoured.
Oh, that's a poor shot. John Wright, really, the writing's been on the wall with the way he's been playing around off stump against Devon Malcolm. He knows it. Sorely disappointed, having got so far and nearly got through the opening spell from Malcolm and Small. He's gone. England's first wicket. John Wright goes, caught at the wicket by Jack Russell, off the bowling of Malcolm for 24. New Zealand 45 for 1. We'd already had 1 escape, nearly played on. It was a really wild flash. Did climb a bit.
So Andrew Jones coming to the wicket after the first success of the morning for Devon Malcolm.
There he goes. Didn't really get hold of it, but knew what he was trying to do.
That's elegant but brave.
So the new batsman, Andrew Jones, off the mark first ball, about to take strike. To Gladstone Small.
Conditions are right to swing it a bit this morning, but only if you bowl a full enough length.
That was a marvellous effort. It's 4 runs. man at Gully, Lewis, made tremendous ground.
Yes, again, we see it's a forcing shot off the back foot, although it's flown through the slips there. You ought to be trying to get people to make forcing shots off the front foot.
Andrew Jones and Trevor Franklin.
Bit of a mix-up here, and there's always a run if they're both gone, but hesitating. Really stop them, and Devon Malcolm not too elegant either in his gathering of the ball.
We can always, if our computers go, then we've always got somebody to refer to. Oh, brilliant ball. Franklin looked as though he was prepared to go then. Looked as though there was half a pace forward. So Martin Crowe, Lewis to bowl to him. Good shot. That's some small chasing, and it won't be 4. Good running. 3.
And for a change, and it's something you don't see very often in modern cricket, there is almost a third slip on the leg side, a leg gully.
Malcolm's caused some terrible problems this morning. Lively pace that Chris Lewis bowls at. Does get quite close into the stumps. There's another good delivery. Keep your eyes on Mike Atherton here. He's at second slip, third slip, and not really staying down, Tom, as the regular slip fielders and the more orthodox techniques of slip fielding dictate. Now Hemmings to see just what he can make of a pitch from which John Bracewell certainly got turn. And that one turned, so there was criticism of Hemmings when he bowled at Lord's from the pavilion end in particular for bowling the leg stump line too much to predominantly an onside field, but here his first 2 or 3 deliveries, different line. Sharp stuff from Stewart. You see Hemmings here pitching round about middle, the ball being pushed quite firmly out to Stewart, stood his ground and bang, straight back in. Just occasionally a batsman goes to sleep.
Eddie Hemmings to bowl to Franklin. I don't think they'll allow that. Well, wouldn't want it to be a squeeze play. Just a few runs to win. The batsman get a leg bye for that. Only fractionally short of a length. And Crowe latched onto it very, very quickly. It bounced just 15 yards inside the boundary. Well, it's a no ball, and the only reason it wasn't a wide was that the no ball call got in first. And it's a bye. The umpire's being overworked in rather a quiet time out there. LBW. That's well bowled. He's been given. Martin Crowe is not certain whether he's out, LBW or caught. But I would say the appeal came at such a time that he was LBW. First Test wicket for Chris Lewis after batting very well in the England first innings. Kevin Malcolm, the fielder. England very sharp out there with their out cricket at the moment. 91 for 3. He'd be spoken to by umpire Mayer for running straight down the line of leg stump. And he's already been spoken to once before, so this time it's an official warning. The first one was a friendly job. This one is a little more important. It's not quite the yellow card, but perhaps buttercup coloured.
Oh, that's a good shot. No need to run for that. Just put the foot down, hit through it. Big man, great batch, over 6 feet, big strong man, just pushing through that. Yeah, that's a lovely follow through there. Perfect position.
That's a lovely shot, and again, Great Batch decides not to move one step out of the crease. He knows it's 4. 102 for 3. It's in the air, but it's straight through that gap at extra cover. And that's 4 runs. Very well played indeed by Trevor Franklin. Played it down, turned the wrists on it. And that's what happens when you bowl at the pads too. A really good player can tuck you away. 4 runs square on the leg side. Hemmings to Franklin, who's on 49. Yes, he goes for it. And Trevor Franklin has a century that's not without a problem for Mark Greatbatch, who ran into that throw from Chris Lewis. He gets his 50.
Nice shot from Franklin. Got loads of patience and basically a defensive player, but when he gets the chance, he can play good strokes like that.
Yes, Franklin is not that gifted a player, but he fights on, and he's looked to try and dominate today. He's tried to keep after Eddie Hemmings, the Australian, not get too bogged down by him, and he's played pretty well.
We've got a bowling change, which this good crowd has greeted with almost relieved applause, and it's Michael Atherton to replace Eddie Hemmings. A tidy spell from Hemmings, but never really threatened. Significantly enough, before the start of this match, both he and Hemmings had taken 21st class wickets this season, similar cost. Lancashire certainly regard him as more than an occasional bowler. Not bowling like that, but orthodox arc of fielders, 4 on the offside for the single, 2 on the onside, 1 out on the sweep. He hasn't found anything yet. That's through. Another 3 runs.
Yeah, there's obviously a little bit of nerves out there at the moment. I think people tend to forget that bowlers can be nervous as well as batsmen.
Turning with the spin. A long chase for Small. doesn't win this one. It's a much warmer day than the previous two, but people don't think so. Rolling change now. Chris Lewis finished, and back comes Gladstone Small. Oh, trying to shift that man at Suleimanov. Did, but it was no sort of shot at all. Lucky he's still there.
Well, Jack, you know a fella like I do. He'd have headed that to first slip. Name Brian Close, no trouble at all.
Absolutely. Brother after it, he'll have to go, but he's quick. He's two. We're just over halfway through this test match, so plenty of work for England to do, but much of it will swing round whether New Zealand can avoid the follow-on. Again, that shows the lack of pace here. That was banged in, but short enough and wide enough for Greatbatch just to rock back.
I think Robin Smith's not too keen on that sort of mid-off-position at the moment. Greatbatch hitting them past him off the front foot and off the back foot.
But he's off and running out of it.
I think that's a very wise decision by the captain, I would think.
That was a beautifully timed shot. Just got to go and fetch that back. 4 runs. 6-4.
Greatbatch certainly starting to blossom a little bit now.
The fine shot. Lovely shot.
Well, certainly Mark Greatbatch not messing around here with the long hop outside the off stump. 150 up. So we're having a change in the attack. Devon Malcolm, after his very long spell this morning, coming back into the attack now, replacing Michael Atherton.
Well, that's beautifully bowled. He's come back after a rest and immediately produced one to defeat Greatbatch, who's on 40.
So Eddie Hemmings going to have a go at the City end now.
Now then, this will be something of a tester for Mike Greatbatch. Right arm around the wicket and into the footmarks at the pavilion end. That's a lovely stroke. 4 runs to Greatbatch.
Beautiful sweep shot this, right down on top of the ball, keeping it down like a rocket.
No third man. That's 4 runs to Franklin, take him on to 66. Beautifully bowled, but it's come off his hip or sweater rather than off the inside edge of the bat. That's good umpiring from John Holder. No doubt about that one. It looks to me as though that came off the inside edge, but it was probably footwork more than anything that did Greatbatch. Perhaps the extra pace generated by Malcolm didn't quite seem to me to have his feet in the right position.
Absolutely right, Richie. He went about 6 inches in front of the crease, and it was a little bit of a lazy shot, really. He was hitting through the line of the ball without ever getting close to it.
This may well be the last over before tea. That is out. It's the last Rutherford will see, last Trevor Franklin will see. And he's survived for so long, and then has gone to Eddie Hemmings just before the interval.
Well, that's the point I'm making about Franklin. If you get the ball outside off stump, you have a far better chance for the bat pad, also creating a gate between bat and pad. Eddie Hemmings there getting that just in the right place.
Here's the time, and they're all there just a touch early. Well, that was in the air. It was really a reflex shot. Pretty firmly played. One of those that just had it gone straight at Stewart. He stands his ground. It could have cost Hadley his wicket, but it was a shot forced on Hadley by the bowler and not one of his own selection. There's 4 off something. Off the bat, no. Buys, in fact. That's a strange one. Jack Russell's not too impressed with that. But not all that many runs to play with as regards the follow-on now. Just 51 of them. Oh, caught. Super catch. Well, there is fine catch by Atherton, and that may well have a big bearing on the outcome of this match. Sir Richard Hadley gone. Caught by Atherton off the bowling of Hemmings. Good bit of bowling and a fine piece of fielding. And now New Zealand in trouble at 185 for 6.
Yes, it was well bowled. Just a little bit of flight. Just did enough. And a fine catch, but Atherton was just stood up a little bit again there. Had a couple of chances today when he's been stood up. And he had to go down again. It's a make ground as well. It was a good catch at the finish.
There's another one getting turned now. Could well have been a 3rd wicket for him. It's a good shot. End of the over. Good one despite that last boundary, and New Zealand moved on to 190 for 6. Real gutsy cricketer, John Bracewell. Always combative and enjoys what he's doing. That'll be 4. It's his 2nd boundary.
32 needed to avoid the follow-on. Got that right off the meat of the bat. John Bracewell again. A clever play. Very clever play from John Bracewell. He's determined to take the attack to Eddie Hemmings. He's played both through the leg side and now given himself room with a stroke past point. It's just short of Atherton.
Good piece of bowling by Hemmings, just turned round the corner. It pitched short of Atherton, but he was up again.
Yes, that's good thinking by Hemmings. He's outthought Bracewell. One time too many for John Bracewell to be unorthodox. And now it's 223 for 7.
There's that flat back flail. Another 4. His 4th boundary. Caught him. Lovely bit of bowling. Not a great shot. And Stewart takes an orthodox short leg catch. That's the 8th wicket down. Rutherford goes, caught by Stewart off the bowling of Hemmings. 4 for the off spinner. Chris Lewis had a good first spell. Hasn't bowled as well from this pavilion end, but still a pretty good debut for England in this match. They'll be looking for 2. 2 it is. That'll be 4. If he goes there, which he does, that's the follow-on save. Leg byes they were. The crowd know it, they applaud. New Zealand know that the problems are far from over. On again, leg side. Wasn't a good ball, but it was a good shot. A busy little batsman, young Perori. 4 runs for him. Snedden quite rightly has worked out the longer he bats in this innings, the less he'll have to in the second. Given him. May have been the arm ball or may have been too straight. Hemmings indicated it was the arm ball. First time 5 wickets for Hemmings. Snedden goes. New Zealand 243 for 9.
So Martin Snedden, having defended well, just misjudges the line.
And that's his best ever bowling performance at Test level. And there's a good shot. Takes Perori into double figures. And again, it shows the lack of pace, even for a wrist spin bowler on this Edgbaston pitch. If you dig it in short or drop it short, the thing just bounces oh so gently. Oh, beautifully bowled. Wonderfully bowled. Perori's not interested, and umpire Holder says no. What a beauty. Hemmings always likes to run between the umpire and the stumps when he comes round the wicket, and bowled him. And bowled him. 6 wickets for Hemmings, the end of New Zealand. 249 all out, giving England a lead, I think, of 186. And a good day for England, and a very good one for Eddie Hemmings, getting congratulations there. 6 wickets for him. New Zealand all out 249.
And that 249 means New Zealand are still 186. New Zealand are still 186 behind England. A tremendous performance from the bowlers, particularly Eddie Hemmings. Nice to see him among the wickets there. Those bowling figures are reflected in the full analysis for England. An outstanding effort from Malcolm, I thought, once again today. 25 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 59. Gladstone Small, there's no justice, because he finished with none for 44, having repeatedly gone past the outside edge of the bat. Lewis bowled a good spell early on and then just fell away a little in his debut test. And Eddie Hemmings, 27.3 overs, 10 maidens, 6 for 58. Atherton, 9 overs, for 17 and no wicket, but spun the ball quite 17 and no wicket, but spun the ball quite sharply. A lead of round about 400 just after tea today. New Zealand will have to try and keep them in check. Richard Hadlee bowled the first over slightly into the breeze. The breeze certainly wasn't assisting his away swing. And the second over is bowled by Danny Morrison. We join it with the second ball. There's one run on the board. Graham Gooch has it.
And that's one of the reasons he's expensive. The half pitcher outside off stump is meat and drink to these players. I think that must have been a little inside edge. There were some choked shouts out there. Didn't seem to deviate a great deal. Today, England will be trying to push on to add to that lead of 186. I would anticipate they'll be searching for something around about the 400 mark by late in today. A good shot for 4. That's 4 more, 2 short.
Yes, Danny Morrison having a few problems here.
It's another good shot. Long chase for John Wright, and a fruitless one. This is exactly the sort of thing England require if they're going to be able to make a closure later in the day and go for victory. It's a real good, positive approach to the game. Well, that won't go for 4, but they'll get 3. This is also very expensive for Danny Morrison. Well, this is one of the more expensive overs we've seen in this series so far. $20 off the over. 33 for no wicket.
Neil Fairbrother there, sitting amongst the family.
Now then, Richard Hadlee to bowl, limbering up all around the field are other bowlers. John Bracewell is loosening. Martin Snedden is stretching his hamstrings. And still Morrison's in the game because he's the fielder who has to come round and gather that in.
Hadlee now to Atherton. Slow ball. And rather quickly to the boundary ropes on the square side for 4, so it was picked well and hit well. I think one of the unsolved mysteries of life in cricket, Ray, is when a ball swings and when it doesn't. There's the England 50 coming up in the 12th over. And often a bowler's hand action can just be slightly awry, and under ideal, perfect conditions, he doesn't swing it. And of course, some cricket balls swing more than others anyway.
Yes, I think we've seen that sometimes when the ball's changed and somebody give you a new ball, and not a new ball, but a different ball, and the thing swings all over from ball one.
Oh, bowled him. Whether there was an edge or not, but where there were 3 stumps, there's now only 2. Gooch goes, bowled by Snedden for 30. That's what New Zealand want. There's no better way of containment, and England now 50 for 1.
Yeah, I think Gooch is hitting through it there without really getting to the pitch of it. May have got a little inside edge, but Graham Gooch just tend to drive at the ball without that front foot really going to the pitch. Snedden's going to continue now from the city end, and he'll be going to Alex Stewart. Well, there again you saw that slightly different bounce, so that was more than slightly different. That nearly ran on the floor. And this is the problem that you do get at Edgbaston in the last day or two. I mean, that bounced twice, nearly 3 times, but it got to the keeper. Can't play them straight.
Stewart off the mark. England's lead 186, and now on top of that 54 for 1. Well, Alex Stewart was running to the danger end. It was fine, but Michael Atherton can laugh now, but he really had to sprint.
Yes, cutting it a little bit fine there. If the keeper had got there a little bit quicker, could have been in trouble. When you're on the back foot, it's always difficult to get started. Once again, good running. I think now they've established they're going to look for quick runs. They'll be a little more together.
Yes, again. That's good calling. After that 1 run of hesitation, it's much better organised now.
Yes, I'm somewhat surprised that he's bowling from this pavilion end, really.
Oh, it's short and hooked away, or pulled away rather, but not off the middle of the bat. Nothing wrong with the stroke conception of it by Alex Stewart, but it just wasn't middled. Still gets 3 runs. Now here's a man who requires 2 test wickets for 100. John Bracewell. Oh, what a lovely shot. That was a rare shot when you think that Alex Stewart's just 6 not out, and he's down the track and plays a square drive, beautifully timed. The lead now goes over 250. It's a lead of 253 to England. Super shot. What he's saying is, you're not going to bowl to me with those close fielders wrapped around my neck there.
Danny Morrison's gone a little bit deeper at mid-on, but not a great deal.
So John Bracewell's not prepared to concede anything. Well played by Alex Stewart. Good judge of length, got onto the back foot and worked the ball with the spin. He's now 15, it's 72 for 1. Michael Atherton is facing 25 not out. Oh, that's another big attacking shot. These young England batsmen are really attacking Bracewell. And that's in a gap as well. My word, the outfield is running quickly today. And that's a very good stop. 16 runs in that first over. 79 for 1. Little bit of Midland Ole. Yes. Oh, he's dropped him. And Martin Crowe is furious with himself.
Lovely piece of bowling this by Richard Hadlee. It's in close to the wicket. Watch that ball go off the seam. Lifting and a straightforward slip catch, really. Beautifully bowled.
Oh, and that hit the short leg fielder. That must have hurt very badly indeed. That was a full-blooded shot. Cracked against the ankle.
Oh, it's Mark Price there, who's gone down. Substitute fielder.
Beautifully bowled, good top spinner. John Bracewell has got either the top spinner or perhaps the arm ball going, slightly quicker. And Alex Stewart has gone. Part of the run chase today, out for 15, 40 to Atherton, and 87 is on the board.
I think there might have been just a little bit of a misjudgment of length there. I think that could well have been a forward length delivery. And Stewart going onto his back foot.
Atherton and Lamb are in at the moment. There's 2 scores for Alan Lamb so far in this series against New Zealand. But these 2 batsmen, both good stroke players. Robin Smith still to come, and then Neil Fairbrother. And that's one of the strokes. Oh, well done. That's a beautiful stumping. Now, Lamb's not at all happy about that. Changed his mind, I had the feeling, and decided not to play it. Got the bat back, but not quite quickly enough. Adam Perore has another victim.
Yes, I would like to give a bit of credit to the bowler here. I think it's a good piece of bowling. I think he saw Lamb begin to come down the wicket and just pushed it through a little bit quicker.
And the applause out there from the players for John Bracewell having taken his 100th Test match wicket. .100 at an average of 36. Up for England now. 100 for 3. Get the single there. So Atherton has 3 balls in which to make the single to give him his second half century for the match. And it gives Atherton his half century. Very good performance from him. It's the last ball of the first session of play on this second last day of the Cornhill Test, and England go along to 108 for 3.
England will certainly be looking for at least as many runs in this session as they got this morning, and possibly more. I think he opened the face there a little, so not quite the lucky edged shot it might have looked. Now Sir Richard Hadlee to start from the pavilion end. All sorts of protective clothing and headgear, and everybody enjoying themselves. Oh, very close. Hadlee's given him out with 2 hands, but umpire Mayer raised nothing.
Yes, you always know when Richard Hadlee turns round and shouts with both hands in the air that it's fairly close.
Bracewell. Leg byes. That's a good shot. Length really that enabled him to get there and do that. Picked it beautifully, rocked back. Oh, what a great stop. Morrison down there, and that was a wonderful piece of athletic fielding. Saved 2 runs. Asking and given. Robin Smith knew a little circle that not many Courtney bowls Hadlee gets, but that was one that ballooned back off the pad. There was some bat on it there. Hadlee was never in doubt. That's the end of Smith. Courtney bowled Hadlee for 14. Now England 129 for 4. New batsman Neil Fairbrother. Now can the Lancashire lad get going? Well, that's Fairbrother away. Almost relieved applause from everybody. And you'll get 3 out of it. The end of the over, a successful one for Hadlee. Bracewell round the wicket. Oh dear me, that's gone. Yes, had to be. Wrong length, didn't pick anything about the delivery at all. Length or line, and poor Neil Fairbrother.
Yes, very, very sad indeed. Talented player, but in test matches, I'm afraid, it just hasn't come through.
One left-hander replaced by another, Jack Russell.
That's a lovely shot. Over-pitched. But it was more than just a cover drive. It was beautifully placed. You see the face of the bat opening, and John Bracewell taps the head. Come on, grey matter. Oh, what a wonderful catch. Superb catch. Lightning reflexes off the middle of the bat, and Jack Russell must have expected runs.
He watched the ball all the way, there was no doubt about it. Didn't flinch, played it right down off his hip, and beautiful piece of fielding.
Chris Lewis is the new batsman. Atherton 67 not out, facing Bracewell. Well, Chris Lewis, the call I think came from Atherton. They say it should come from the person non-striking end when it's played behind the stumps.
Well, Chris Lewis here, even if it had been Carl Lewis, Tony, I don't think he'd have got in.
So, Tony Lewis wouldn't have been in the frame there, but cheers as Lewis gets off the mark.
Oh, with perfect length as well, Tony, that's the important part.
And now he's back in close to the stumps. Change of line, beautiful bowling, classic piece of bowling, and Chris Lewis goes caught behind the wickets for 1.
He couldn't have got closer than that. Pitching just outside off, but not coming back, keeping on going towards the slips. Previous ball had been bowled a bit wide and angled in.
Well, it is most definitely New Zealand's only chance of winning that they do bowl England out.
Very good shot from Gladstone Small.
Well, every now and again, Gladstone unleashes a copybook cover drive. Opens the face there, doesn't try to hit too hard, and away it goes for 4 through the covers.
70 from 131 balls at it, and that's pretty good going. He faced those 131 balls in 3 hours and 11 minutes. Well, there's no doubting England's intentions here. They've lost a bit of time, so Gooch's idea now is to make it up by having the batsmen go out there and play their strokes. Good stuff.
Well, this was a perfect straight drive. Just in straight through, 1 bounce, 4 over long off. But great credit to both sides there. Gooch has obviously given batsmen instruction to get on with it, not waiting around, and that's very, very good for cricket. Oh, and that's
Out. Well caught.
Now that's out. Atherton going to drive, not quite getting there, and just a nice, gentle catch there to Rutherford at mid-wicket.
That's a good catch. It's well judged. Michael Atherton caught Rutherford bowled Bracewell for 70. Bracewell bowling cleverly once again.
Yes, he's bowled well today, and just a little bit of flight there. Didn't quite get to the pitch of it. Slight inside edge.
Eddie Hemmings is the new batsman. The lead is 343.
I think Richard Hadley will be quite happy to bowl at Eddie Hemmings. And you see all the strapping on the foot there as well, Richard Hadley. He did have Achilles tendon triple operation for it in the winter. I'm not sure that's the same ankle or not. Probably at his age, he probably has a bit of strapping on both ankles.
Looks the strapping might have twisted and become uncomfortable there. That is very comprehensive, and the new bat did little good. Perhaps it simply wasn't wide enough.
I think a little pat on the head from Richard Hadley to Eddie Hemmings, probably just saying, too good for you, son. Well, probably that new bat didn't suit Eddie Hemmings. A little bit across it, but it wasn't a bad delivery either. Pitch roundabout off and it off, which you can't grumble at that.
Just done enough. That's all you have to do. Just land on the seam and do a couple of inches from leg to off. And it has knocked that stump beautifully cleanly out of the ground. That's from the fielding side's point of view.
It's a well-known Worcester character called Loppy Lugs, who should be down at Worcester now watching Worcestershire play Gloucestershire.
If he starts his war cries, there are a few people here wished he was, Tom.
Devon Malcolm on his way out. Now then, 20.3 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 53. Possibility of another 5 in an innings coming up for Sir Richard Hadley. He has 3 balls to go, Richard Hadley. Would have been a great catch. Looked as though he got it just about off the meat of the bat.
Yes, it was going pretty hard, and got both hands to it, but when you're following through after bowling, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get onto and going back quick if you like that. And look, it didn't come down for him to catch again. Only just wide of him.
OBW, and will that be a wicket for Richard Hadlee with his last ball in Test cricket? To join a very select group of players who've done that. The end of England's second innings with the score at 158. So it's a great performance from New Zealand. They have to make 345 to win. That was plumb. Another 5 in an innings for Richard Hadlee.
Another 5 and another magnificent performance from Sir Richard Hadlee, taking a wicket with his last ball in Test match cricket, and a terrific effort from him. The bowling figures show exactly what he did out there in combination with John Bracewell. Bracewell 16 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 38, and Richard Hadlee 21 overs, 3 maidens, 5 for 53. Just to confirm his position at the top of the world's leading bowlers. A terrific effort from him. 86 Test matches, 431 wickets, an average of 22.29, 36 times 5 wickets in an innings, the last of those today, and on 9 occasions he took 10 wickets in a match. And he and Dennis Lillee are the only bowlers in that list to have averaged 5 wickets per Test match throughout their career. It's a marvellous effort from Richard Hadlee, and it's given New Zealand the opportunity to win this Test match. England can do so as well, but when the two openers, Wright and Franklin, came out, they knew they had 345 to make, and that set itself up as a very good contest. Here's the first over now, the first ball in fact. Devon Malcolm is the bowler, and Trevor Franklin has taken strike.
Franklin away. Franklin away.
The position of the game now is that if there's no more rain, no more interruptions, if New Zealand play ordinary, sensible cricket, then they're going to get somewhere near that total if they're not bowled out.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled. Big appeal. Everybody thinks he's out except 2 people. And that's batsman and umpire Holder. That ball swung back after it pitched.
It looked as though there was a little gap there between the bat and the ball.
I think the telltale thing, Tom, it straightened back and Jack Russell took it to his right.
That's right.
And there's runs. John Wright was in, no doubt, and neither was umpire Holder. And it's 4 runs. Small it is now again to Wright.
Really nothing in the teams at all. Two very useful sides.
Oh, that could have been out. Unlucky for Small, lucky for Franklin. Second boundary of the innings.
It's a bit of a loose shot, this, from Franklin. Thick outside edge, bisecting third slip and gully.
I don't think, Tom, you could have had a more positive approach from a Test captain than Graham Gooch is today, both with the bat and in general tactics.
I think this has been a very good match for both captains. John Wright, whilst he was bowling at England today, attacked, kept the field up, didn't set back and just wait for the declaration. Instead he went all out to bowl England out, and he succeeded. All out for 158, so he's given himself a chance to win the match.
That's a good shot. timed well enough to go for 4. No chance of the man running from mid-off. Cutting it off. Lovely shot from John Wright. Four more. Well, there it is, the first breakthrough. Trevor Franklin goes. Devon Malcolm, who has bowled consistently well throughout this series, has once again achieved the breakthrough for England. He is looking very good. New Zealand lose their first man.
Yes, that ball moving back into Franklin. Keeping a little bit low as well.
No third man, and in fact the fielders hadn't realised that for a moment. Covered now, so that's 3 to Andrew Jones. Be another incentive, I reckon, for John Wright, Tom, having put England into bat. What a way it would be to go out, to put them in and then win the match.
Absolutely.
Good shot from John Wright. Five from the over, and the score now moves into the 40s.
Crucial last 75 or 80 minutes here tonight, because if New Zealand can get through, the psychological boost will be enormous for them, facing a target tomorrow with 9 wickets in hand of around 250, 260. Couple more. John Wright on the left, Andrew Jones on strike. End of the over. 6 off the over, and New Zealand now 51 for 1. First landmark passed. Target now reduced to under 300. Just 17 overs into the innings, and he's on.
That's a big shout, but to no avail. John Wright has made no move. It's over. There was a bit of a fumble there from Jack Russell. When he grabbed it at the second attempt, there was jubilation, but that quickly turned to despair. 86 tests, 21,928 balls, 431 wickets, a strike rate of 50.87. No third man, 4 runs. Silly point, short square point, and a slip.
And this ball not getting up very high, just drifting along there and probably just beating the leg stump. Fairly close.
No third man again. Just get an easy 3 there. A few changes out there. Fairbrother's gone down to deep backward square. Lewis has come into forward square. Atherton's gone from fine leg slip to leg gully. And Jones has gone for the doctor. Straight over the top.
Beautiful hit by Jones. That well pitched up. Lovely straight swing of the bat. Bang. Right over the top.
Oh, that's the arm ball. Well,
Jones sweeping this from somewhere near the stumps. Just turned a fraction, possibly missing the leg stump.
Oh, that's a good catch. John Wright goes. Chris Lewis gets a wicket, and that's a vital blow for England. And John Wright goes for 46. New Zealand 85 for 2. Oh, why did I do it? New Zealand certainly aren't short of batting. A lovely shot. 4 runs it is. End of the over, 6 runs off it.
Nice throw from Devon Malcolm. 100 up for New Zealand for the loss of 2 wickets. Franklin and Wright, the men out. And they were the only 2 to be dismissed. There were 5 more overs bowled. Second ball of the morning. Missed. There were 5 more overs bowled, all of them maidens. The score stayed there at 101 for 2, including the 3 extras. Franklin out for 5, Wright for 46, Jones is 37 and Crowe 10. Bowling figures, Malcolm bowled well once again, 1 for 15 in 9. Lewis has 1 for 37. Eddie Hemmings spun the ball quite well, and he bowled from both ends. He will be a key man tomorrow. On what was at least 1 and perhaps 2 sweat a day, and New Zealand needed 244 runs with 8 wickets in hand. Well, the pitch is still bone hard, Ray Illingworth told me when he went out to have a look at it before the start of play. It looked as though it would take just a little bit of turn, but it was the pacemen Graham Gooch turned to start proceedings. Here's Gladstone Small now. He's bowling the second ball of the morning. The man taking strike is Andrew Jones.
Certainly be 2 there. Good running by Martin Crowe makes it 3. 3. I think of all the wickets that England would like, Martin Crowe must be top. Still in the top 10 in the world. Him off the mark this morning. He's looking for 2 and getting it. Sharply run. There is the dressing room with Great Batch in view at the back. It's a nice shot. Won't be 4. New Zealand now on dreaded Nelson score, 1-1-1. And Nelson strikes. Very fine catch indeed, Graham Gooch. Small gets the wicket, Jones goes. The loose shot, but a beautifully taken catch.
Yes, Andrew Jones flashes away outside the off stump. He always plays that way. And that went like lightning to second slip. He's giving it the full treatment. And Gucci picked it up brilliant. Really was a superb catch. And here you can see him swishing the bat there. And brilliantly picked up.
New batsman Mark Greatbatch. And full reward for some very thorough preparation by England this morning. Graham Gooch was among several fielders, including Mike Atherton, under the eagle eye of team manager Michael Stewart, who were out there this morning practicing slip catching, and they always do it against the match background. Billy Hemmings on the stretch there, and it could be that he got a twinge somewhere. Looks on his left side, or left hand, is it? What's he done? Certainly caused him some problem, and it's with the left hand. It looks as though he might have stubbed that left hand into the ground. Comes across, going on to the left hand, or may even have spiked himself. That occasionally happens. It's a cold day, but that's not the real reason for the hand rubbings. It's that stubbing of the finger on his left hand, which he did with that piece of fielding in the previous over. Oh, that was a good one.
He looks at it, sees it's lifting and ducks underneath. That was a very quick delivery.
Small now to Crowe. Ah, it's a fine shot. 4 runs.
Short outside the off stump. See that back foot go across and chopping down on it right off the middle of the bat.
There's another one. This isn't good bowling, because having brought the Silimid off in, he needs to pitch the ball up and hope that he'll peg Crowe on the back foot, and that's where the errors will come, but those have been banged in short and wide.
Yes, untidy stuff. Beautiful stroke from Crowe. I would say that either Great Batch or Crowe have to get a century or somewhere near to give New Zealand a chance. That's a good shot. That would have been runs, but played it straight back down the pitch and hit the stumps at the umpire's end. And Devon Markham has switched to round the wicket now. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, tremendous launch he had at that. Put his foot straight down the pitch. I think if he'd hit that, he'd have knocked the pavilion down.
Oh. Oh, that's bad luck for Crowe, but brilliant for England. And Malcolm, that kept quite low, beaten on the backstroke. And Devon Malcolm has done it again, got the breakthrough. Martin Crowe has got one that has hardly got up at all. Did just about everything right, but didn't lay the bat on it.
That's a disappointing series for Martin Crowe. He's always threatened to make a big score and never quite done it.
That's the way the card looks at the moment. Franklin and Wright out yesterday for 5 and 46 respectively. This is Malcolm to Rutherford. It's gone off hip or elbow. Quite look as though it was off glove. It was just about even at the start of this last day. A nice shot from Great Batch. He's a senior player now. And that's the stroke of a man who knows he must take charge. That's a lovely shot for 4. In fact, the odds have changed very much with two balls, the one that got Jones and then the one that got Crowe. There's two super shots from Mark Greatbatch.
Yes, he's taken the attack back to the England bowlers. That was short of a length. And that beautiful shot off the back foot and through extra cover.
Suddenly looks a different man, Mark Greatbatch. Big responsibility on his shoulders now. You can almost feel that he said that himself. He's a great chatter and talker to himself out in the centre. Greatbatch has gone to 13. Rutherford is not yet off the mark, and he's facing Gladstone Small. Ten off and 135 for 4. Well, Greatbatch has decided that if he's going to be in charge, he's going to let everyone know about it.
Well, that's a fantastic shot, really. It's a full-length ball, but Greatbatch hit it off the back foot, all his weight on the back foot, just went through with it, and that went for 4-1 bounce over, well, wide mid-off. Tremendous shot.
Smith took a good catch to get rid of John Wright yesterday. Deep gully catch. Three runs to Ken Rutherford. That's a nice shot. So positive. Nothing wrong with the ball except that it was just about on leg stump, but Greatbatch knew there were no fielders there.
He really is a very positive player. Whipping that away from leg stump just outside and just hits right through the line of the ball, bottom hand, picking up high over mid-wicket. Now New Zealand 198 for victory. Got rid of the 200.
That's a lovely shot too. It stood up there. He fetched it a bit.
Yes, it was almost as though he was waiting for the short pitcher. He got into position so quickly and really middled that. Hooked in front of square.
Eddie Hemmings. Now the greatest threat to the New Zealand batsmen will be the close fielders in there around the bat. They picked up catches in the first innings. He's got him, and that's the problem, which was unsolved by Mark Greatbatch. A neat little catch had slipped by Atherton, and Greatbatch disappointedly makes his way back to the pavilion, caught Atherton, bowled Hemmings at 22. 155 now for 5.
Well, Greatbatch very disappointed with that, but it was a very, very good delivery to get so early on. Eddie Hemmings dropping that ball in exactly the right place for the left-hander. And now, for the final time, Sir Richard Hadlee.
What alterations in the field for Hadlee, I wonder? Richard Hadlee's bowled 5 balls at Eddie Hemmings in this series and removed him 3 times. A wicket maiden, his first over of the innings.
And this one really turned and lifted. That pitched off stump, and tremendous delivery, and that's the problem the left-handers have.
Change of bowling from the pavilion end. Devon Markham goes off, and on comes Chris Lewis.
I think he's got a little problem as he followed through after that first delivery. I think he's damaged his boots or something.
Oh, that's a fine shot. There's no doubt that Ken Rutherford, given the confidence and the time in the middle, can play a wide range of shots. New spikes, we think. Yes, there's the key. The cobbler there, I think, is Nasser Hussain. Okay, Chris Lewis is well shot. It is Nasser Hussain. Well, a misfield there by Graham Gooch. Yep. Thinking about something else, I expect, skipper. Understandable. 160 for 5.
Richard Hadlee off the mark in his final Test innings. 3,000 runs as well as that 431 wickets. An astonishing career.
Oh, that was close. It was a good ball. A little bit of lift and leave about it.
Yes, quite a bit of movement here. That ball going across Richard Hadlee, got very close to the outside edge.
.300's always a big achievement for a side in the fourth innings of a match, and particularly to win it. And there are the only 4 sides successful with a higher score than this one. That's in the whole of the history of Test cricket. And he's caught him. Alan Lamb it was. Rutherford goes. And really now New Zealand on the brink. Rutherford out for 18. And New Zealand 163 for 6.
Yes, well, that was a good piece of bowling, actually, by Lewis. Rutherford had cut him for 4 earlier on, and he just put a little bit more into that. It was a quicker delivery, and Rutherford tried to give it the full treatment. Just managed to get an outside edge. There it is. And it just moved away a little as well, and Alan Lamb solidly behind that.
That's the end of Ken Rutherford. Now an interesting change in the New Zealand batting order. New batsman is young Adam Perori and not John Bracewell as in the first innings, and skipper John Wright clearly wants him to give support and hope that Sir Richard Hadlee can strike his richest vein of form. My word, it'll need to be a rich one as well. Confused first ball, which is the last one of the over. Good one for Lewis in England. New Zealand 163 for 6. Breeze has dropped. Everything looking good for England. Captains have had a real battle in this match, but it does look as though Gooch has tilted the game back towards him. That's broken the run of maidens. It's a good shot from Furore. Puts him off the mark and he'll feel better. The end of the over, and New Zealand 167 for 6.
Lewis trying to bowl a slower ball. Lovely juicy full toss. Wide open spaces on the offside, and he hits it through extra cover for...
Now 10 minutes to go until lunch. Oh, and there goes Hadley, but didn't really get hold of it. Lewis after it, there'll just be the 2. 3, in fact. Gets Hadley away from Hemmings.
And a little bit wide. Just turning, but he was hitting it so hard that Gully had no chance at all. Thick outside edge. And 3 runs coming from it.
Got it through. Five off the over. 172 for 6. 86 test matches on the left and just 1 on the right. Good morning for England. They've taken the honours. 4 good wickets in the bag.
That's Richard Hadley. 8 wickets in the match. And Adam Furore, the young man at the other end who's making his test match debut, batted very well in the first innings, was left not out for 12. That's a nice contrast between youth and experience. The young man was hurtling down the pitch looking for 2, and the experienced Sir Richard ambled for the easy single.
I think that's partly to do with stiffness after that bowl yesterday, Tommy.
Oh, that's a cracking shot. Wonderful shot on the back foot. Well, the thing is, Raymond, if you give Richard Hadley room, he loves to go for those shots.
Oh, he'll play shots. I once saw one day final at Lord's when Notts had no chance at all, and he smashed the ball all around the field, and look at that. Marvellous shot off the back foot. Give him a little bit of room, he loves it. He'll go for his shots, and he's a very dangerous player. He can soon get 60 or 70 on the board if he stays there for half an hour.
Oh, he went to pull that, I think. Certainly expected it to get up higher. A little bit of flight there, Eddie Hemmings. He's got 2 men back right on the boundary behind him there, long on and long off, so he has the confidence to lob it up.
And up on that full length, there is quite a lot of wear in the pitch. On a forward defensive length, it's not too bad, but up on a driving length, there's quite a lot of wear.
Quicker, flatter through the air. 1 run to Hadley. 165 runs to win. Well, only something heroic from this man can turn this into a New Zealand victory. Devon Malcolm now going around the wicket to Hadley. Bowled him. Well, that's intelligent bowling by Devon Malcolm. Richard Hadley looking for the room that wasn't there at all this time.
Yes, I think it's good thinking there that not many quick bowlers do it these days. I think it's a very good ploy to the left-hander. He's got a bit of rough and everything outside there. But that just followed Richard Hadley. He was going to go out with a flourish, but unfortunately not.
So that's the last time we'll see Sir Richard Hadley on the Test match arena. Tremendous career behind him, and a warm welcome back to the pavilion. Standing ovation. Justly deserved.
He certainly gave himself plenty of room there. And also gave the bowler plenty of room to hit the stumps as well.
Well, that's intelligent bowling by Devon Malcolm. Over the wicket, he'd been hit off the back foot by Hadley, where the ball was going across the left-hander, but this time slanting it in. Oh, that was a nasty one. Oh, that was a nasty one.
It'll be very interesting to see him bowl on the harder Australian wickets. Certainly he'll G a few up over there.
Oh, well, that could have gone anywhere as far as John Bracewell was concerned. Yes, he meant to hit it around behind square on the leg side. Just hopped up off the leading edge.
It's all right looking what you're going to do, but you don't have that much time when Devon Malcolm's bowling, and that's what he was short of there.
Well, that is a tremendous catch. Wow, that went like lightning. Michael Atherton, you might almost say he was standing too close for that by about 6 yards.
Well, that shows the pace that Devon Malcolm's bowling, because Bracewell didn't really flash that hard at that. He was solid, just an edge at it, but it flew like a rocket straight at Atherton. The big thing was it was head high, and it's awkward to get your hands up and get them in the reverse position in time. That was a tremendous catch, but it just shows what pace that Devon Malcolm is bowling at.
Right, knocked him straight off his feet. 2 wickets in a maiden over. That's fine bowling by Malcolm. 8 wickets down for 180.
Well, the position's hopeless for New Zealand and for Rory, but even so, it's experience for the lad. Oh, dear me. Now that swung late. And this ball is in its, well, we're nearly due for another one.
Well, I don't think Devon Malcolm could believe he'd bowled this delivery. A much slower ball than him would have been very proud of that. Great delivery.
Shot. Won't go. Wicketkeeper Jack Russell after it. Have an attacking field, and somebody's got to fill the gaps. And quite quickly with pads on as well. Now, what's the return like? The end of the over, just those 3 runs off it. New Zealand 191 for 8. It's all too late, but what we're seeing from this 9th wicket pair is the sort of determined resistance and support batting that they could have given to any of the frontline batsmen had they stayed in and played a big score. Oh, that's a nasty one. That is a nasty one. Concern from everybody, but he seems all right in waving them away.
Yes, well-directed bouncer, and for once, Ferrari not getting in the right place. Nasty lifting delivery.
Nice little shot. Four runs here for something. Hemming started to shout, indicating he thought it might have come off bat. It didn't. Leg by as they were, the only runs of the over. New Zealand now 198 for 8.
So it'll be Chris Lewis to come in from the pavilion end.
Good shot, lovely shot. Had some small chasing, but with a shorter straight boundary. Brings up 200 for New Zealand. Oh, he's caught him in the end, I think, Alan Lamb. Yes, a juggling catch, and he's caught him. Ferrari goes. Success for Lewis. England now right on the brink with New Zealand 203 for 9.
And this is one of the gifts that Lewis has. He produces that quicker delivery. And outside edge, straightforward catch to first slip, but Alan Lamb had a bit of a mess of it, really, to begin with. Didn't look as though he was going to catch it, but fortunately he fell back and it rolled on top of him.
That's a good shot. Oh, well, just in the right area, and Snedden can play shots. Oh, well. This is Snedden's final appearance on the Test match ground. He's signing off with a flourish. Lovely shots.
Just short of Atherton, slightly away to his left as well.
You see the advantage of the off-spinner going to the left hand now, and it turns away. Can't get the pad or anything in front of it then, and it gives all those close fielders a chance.
And you can chalk up 4 there for Danny Morrison.
Well, that's lazy bowling, is that? He's not finishing his action off, he's just going down the leg side 2 on the trot, and that's bad bowling at this stage.
Still 116 runs needed, just the 1 wicket remaining, and Martin Snedden and Danny Morrison are the 2 batsmen. Change in the bowling. Devon Malcolm is being brought back on. What more appropriate ball could there be for number 11, Daniel Morrison, than the perfect Yorker? A great win for England. It was a good test match, and New Zealand played their part. An excellent win for Graham Gooch and his men. 230 all out.
Well, the new ball wasn't needed. We've talked about the Yorker from Devon Malcolm. He's not used it much in this series, but that was right up there. It also swung out a little bit as well, which makes it doubly hard, but that's the ideal ball for a number 11.
Danny Morrison, the last man to go there, and the total 230. 14 extras in that lot. The significant completed it. 230. 14 extras in that lot. The significant feature of the innings, I thought, was that most of the batsmen got a go on, but couldn't make a go of it in the end. Naught for Bracewell, but the others all got a start, and the bowlers did a terrific job for England. Devon Malcolm, 24.4 overs, 8 maidens, 5 for 46. A wicket to Small and 1 to Hemmings, and Chris Lewis playing in his first test match, 22 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 76 in this second innings effort. Very good performance from him as well, and he made 32 in the first innings. So this is the story of the match. This is the way things unfolded. England 435 all out after John Wright had put them into bat, with Graham Gooch getting 154 and Mike Atherton 70. Hadley figures twice on that list with 3 for 97 and 5 for 53. 158 for England in their second innings. New Zealand 249 and 230. Hemmings the best ever figures between England and New Zealand on this Edgbaston ground. England, the winners by 114 runs, and they won the series 1-0. At the presentation shortly after, Graham Gooch collected a cheque for £7,000, as well as the Cornhill Trophy. Tom Graveney, who was the man of the match adjudicator, chose Devon Malcolm, and a terrific performance he put up as a pace bowler on a pitch that wasn't all that sympathetic to fast bowling. Ian Taylor, the New Zealand manager, chose Mike Atherton of England as the England player of the series. Mickey Stewart, the England manager, chose Richard Hadley as the New Zealand player of the series, and there was a special presentation made to Hadley as well. Sir Richard Hadley stepped up to receive the ball with which he took 5 for 53 in England's second innings, one of them with his last ball in Test match cricket. This was a great test. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot of very, very good cricket played. The Saturday, Monday and Tuesday produced outstanding cricket with both bat and ball, and with the fielding also. There were some great catches taken, some good ground fielding, and much of the spirit in the game, much of the good cricket was due, first of all, to the pitch, an excellent pitch prepared by the groundsman here at Edgbaston, and even more so to the attitude of the 2 captains, Graham Gooch, the home captain, and John Wright. John Wright made a blunder in putting England into bat, but the spirit and the positive attitude of both captains all the way through made certain that this was a test match to remember.